Oh wow! Note from Hazel: GT Roo and his sub are both dodging. I don't know if she's using the word dodge in a lighthearted way or if it's a serious, dodge ram we're talking about. Like, I won't play because I refuse to, or if it's a soft dodge, of course, of which we know many. Like, what I mean? Soft dodges, like you actually play, but you dodge at the same time. It's like my first game of the day, or this is a new computer, not my mouse, not my keyboard, not anything. I'm talking about. It's like a soft dodge, like an excuse for losing, but it's a hard dodge here, evidently.
Yeah, I always feel a little bit more for those players who do the soft dodges, because I remember for a CSL match, oh, it's a Terran versus Terran. I love Terran versus Terran on this map. And,
Sweet.
Oh, it looks like the person playing against Nesh has never even played the map. Yeah, and I've had to play games on setups that were not my own. And it's just one of the most horrible experiences in the world.
Yeah,
also, we're going to talk a little bit about the map before it starts.
Yeah. All right, yeah, let's talk about the map, since now I can see it and show all the people out there. So, it looks like 4 spawn points. Why don't you just go over a little bit? You said there was that ramp on the natural. I mean, what do you think again?
I mean, personally, as Zerg, I have a real hard time feeling comfortable because it's what I describe as a long map, like sort of a large map. The walking distances feel really sort of windy, especially between the mains. But of course, we're going to see a Terran versus Terran, so my emotions when I'm playing Zerg are kind of irrelevant. What is weird about this map is that in Terran versus Terran, there are so many key tactical locations. It's less of who gets the right ones first, and more of who makes use of the ones that they can take best. So, for instance, you'll note that on all the mains, they're surrounded by this high ground ledge, which makes it really, really important. If you want to secure a main, you need to secure the natural expansion as well, because there's just so much space there for the main to be dropped. It's really, really uncomfortable to defend it unless you have a better positioning farther towards the center of the map. And even all these side gas expansions are very, very easy to drop. I mean, it's really hard to put turrets in the right places until you have a lot of money. So really, in the mid-game, it just becomes very, very, very fragile. Like, for instance, if you watch Iris versus Flash on this map in the recent GOM TV final, that was a great example of how their opening builds got themselves various advantages, but then really, because there was so many holes, Flash was able to just find the right place to put his dropships and units, and Iris like instantly lost. It was so fast once he got that big swing. So really, if both the players can make it through the mid game, then I hope to see something awesome.
All right, that's fantastic. Nice ring at the end. I think that might be the opening bell. Certainly, it's a TBT, so we'll have even more time to analyze. And I'm sure, hopefully, it'll be one of those epic ones that ends up in nukes and battle cruisers.
All right, starting.
Let's do it.
And what I really like a lot, again, about this map is that when it does enter into that everyone going battlecruiser phase, it's never because of something dull happening in the mid-game. Because take the map Nostalgia, for instance, for anyone to play that. In a lot of Terrans versus Terrans, you just saw someone taking the bottom half, someone taking the top half, and they were fairly easy to defend in that fashion. But on this map, it's so weirdly defined who gets what, especially in this cross-map situation that we see here.
Yeah, we have here Nesh, by the way, at the top left. And we've got the replacement for the replacement of Roo. That's kind of a shame on you, Roo. Eu.ziz, he's actually pulled from Europe. I'm just making this up. I have no idea what he is, but he's pulled from Europe and Zimbabwe actually to play. But we're going to see what happens here. 2 Terrans facing off diagonal cross. This could lead to a long game, seriously, especially if Ziz doesn't know the map. I mean, or it could be a short. I don't know. I mean, if all it depends on his opponent, I guess, how much he wants to play around with him. Because I think Nesh is going to have a huge advantage. Like you said, I mean, maybe we should just text him and someone should say it's kind of like Byzantium, except not blue. I mean, it would be probably the best help possible.
That actually isn't too different. On this map, the mains definitely are much easier to drop, and really, based upon the opening right now, I do like Eu.ziz's opening. I never like playing with an inverted ramp. In the games I actually do end up playing Terran, and it's just so easy to defend the front like this, that I can't see why you wouldn't want to do it. Unless, of course, you wall off incorrectly like Ziz did. Then you might want to be a little more concerned. Well, I guess it's Terran versus Terran. You're not going to have anything... I actually take it back. You can do just a fine wall off there, but I prefer to have it pull back a little bit more just because tanks are so dangerous. But one thing that's really great to note is that if you do wall off, you don't have to worry about any sort of mass vulture shenanigans doing anything obnoxious to your front the way you would on a map like Neo Harmony.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, just going from the metagame, Nesh knows this map. He's probably practiced, unlike the man from Zimbabwe and the EU. So, you know, he probably is going to play a more conservative game in general. You know, that's what I'd expect. But, you know, we're going to see. It looks like both players are opening up here with the racks and gas, of course. And we're going to have a slightly later scout from Eu.ziz, who is going to get scouted. Ooh. Oh, is he going to get scouted? Yep, there's the scout going in.
Brutal. That's kind of a big deal, because right now he gets to see that his opponent has already gassed. There's not going to be any ultra-fast command centering going on. And, you know, a lot of players really don't go ultra-fast command center because it is quite vulnerable if your opponent knows what he's doing. But if you can get your opponent just to at least consider that possibility, that's always good. But now that's totally removed since the scouting SCV got in. And really, based upon the fact that Nesh confidently didn't wall in, I would expect him to have something like planned in store, because there's so many little tactical abuses that you can do early on that I'm actually hoping he does one, because they're really fun to see in action.
That's absolutely true. You know, we always root for the unorthodox builds just because we see, obviously, the good ones, the conservative ones, so often. And anyway, it looks like this Marine's going to chase this SCV for quite a long time if Nesh micros it properly. Both players starting with one fact. It looks like neither has started second. Let's take a look at the gas situation. Looks like we got 3 here on gas for EU and 3 on gas for Nesh. We're going to have to see what they use their gas for coming up, because neither has built anything else. Machine shop's going down probably for both. Yeah, there's the other machine shop. And we're going to see what tech... Starport going up for Eu.ziz. Interesting. What do you think about this strategy?
Yeah. Well, looks like both of them are actually doing the same strategy. Oh, he cancels the factory. Ooh. Or excuse me, the add-on. Oh, I see what he's doing. This is a timing that I really think every Terran player should know, that once your first factory finishes, you build the armory, the second factory, and the starport all at the same time, and then the timing lines up so nicely for Goliath drops. So really that clearly is Eu.ziz's plan. And right now, this would be really confusing for me as Nesh, because I'm expecting my opponent to do some sort of expand strategy. He got the add-on for the factory. You know, I'm planning to see tanks soon. He's walled in, and you know, I'm actually expecting Nesh to do something where he drops tanks behind the expansion's mineral patch, and it looks like he does have 1 tank out. So if he goes 1 tank, 1 wraith opening, or excuse me, 1 factory tank, 1 port wraith opening, that would be great. If he went for the fast dropship, I'd be a little more questioning of that. But he throws it all out the window and goes straight for a command center. And it looks like something's building at that starport. I'm curious to see what's going to be coming out for Nesh there.
Yeah, for Nesh, you're absolutely right. I don't know. Both players could be building dropships, perhaps. I don't think either player has a good idea of what's going on with the other player's base. You know, the SCV inside of Nesh's base didn't get to see the starport. Now the first vulture is getting you know, spotted by the SCV. That's not going to mean anything, though. Nesh right now in the dark, but he should know once his first air unit comes out. We're going to see what it is. Oh, it's going to be Cloak Wraiths, it seems. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cloak Wraiths with a few tanks and an expand. This is, you know, one of those combo builds that's so powerful for setting up a strong mid game. And we're going to see Goliath drop. Straight up Goliath drop, just as you predicted, of course. This is a really interesting strategy. I mean, do you ever see these nowadays? I remember seeing these in, you know, playing weird 2v2s on maps where you have lots of ledges or something. That's the only times I've ever seen these in pro play, but maybe you've seen it more often.
It's a really easy timing to pull off. And just one thing to note a little bit earlier on. Oh, man, that dropship, oh, I forgot a Goliath. It's coming back home. It's so funny. The fact that you forgot that Goliath means that this Wraith did not end up intercepting the dropship. So this drop is going to do virtually nothing. And, you know, I really think that making that vulture and sending it out to scout was an awful, awful idea by Ziz. I mean, he made the add-on in order to convince his opponent that he was going tanks, and then canceled it, and then revealed